Hello, and welcome to Outlook Video, your nationally recognized award-winning LGBTQ plus TV monthly news magazine. I'm Roberta Gonzalez-Gregg. Outlook Video in pre-pandemic COVID times was broadcast to you from the Create TV studios in San Jose. Though we are now entering an upgraded COVID-19 safety tier, we are continuing to safely broadcast to you via Zoom. We sincerely hope that you, your loved ones, family, and friends are all staying safe and well. Joining us from the East Coast, our returning guest today is Angelic Williams, who in 2018 created an online platform servicing and inclusive to the LGBTQ community, aptly named My Umbrella. Angelic also serves on the Curve Foundation as an advisory, which empowers lesbians, queer women, trans and non-binary people to share their stories and culture. Today, Angelique is sharing a story of her own in the form of a book she wrote and recently released entitled Immersive Love. Welcome back to Outlook Video, Angelique, woman of many talents. Well, thank you for joining Outlook Video. And on this time, in regards to this new book that you have out called Immersive Love. Now, in the book itself, it describes that immersive love as compared to like submersive love. Some of us get really into it this way, but immersive love is a form of love that can take joy, excitement, wonder, heartbreak, reconciliation, and an unbelievable form of different kinds of love. So tell us more about this book. This is really interesting.
Yes, thank you. So immersive love, when I think about media that I am really into, things that I really like when I was reading books as a kid, it's that escape, whatever world the writer is putting together for you, you want to believe in it. You want to get, sucked into it. And so, to me, everything, if it's not immersive, I'm not buying, if it's like, I could see the plot hole, like I'm not really here for it, but if it's something I'm really into, I'll let a few plot holes slip. I'll be upset, but I bought in, so I'm here now. But with immersive love, it was a challenge because there's so many love stories out there. There's just so many, and there's only so many tropes that can happen in a love story.
And there are only so many lesbian love stories or women love stories,
And they
so
always
that makes
start
this
with
also
a blonde
unique.
and a brunette. Yes, there's always a blonde and a brunette, or if it's a cis male white focus, it's a skinny brown white haired boy with another skinny brown white haired boy. And there's also only two types of queer romances that are pretty much told these days, which is either a very angsty teen coming out story, one person from a conservative family, which is the star, the other one is from a more progressive family or more comfortable in themselves. There's some conflict, there's a reconciliation, boom. Or you fast forward to something like The L Word or The Fosters, where it's like, I've got it together. This is my wife of 15 years and look at our beautiful family. Well, there's a really big jump between this angsty 15-year-old and this put together 47-year-old. And Indeed. That is where immersive love sort of comes in and sort of puts that messy love of how do you really navigate this into the world? And I really wanted that story to be told.
I think you did an excellent job as well with all the different characters and their interactions with each other. And some of the characters, you just get a little inkling of them. Others you go a little bit deeper in, but all of them you wonder. And I like what you said earlier about how the story is going to end. This one in your book, I like the fact that you're thinking, oh, how does this person interact? And how does that person interact? Oh, what happens next? It is something of a page turner and makes you want to go on to the end, which not giving that anything away, but it's also a great story and a twist on things as we usually see them, as you've just explained. Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and with some of those characters, like you said, some of them weave in and out, some of them come back, some of them are just little blips on the radar. And with each character, I needed to figure out what the off-ramp is, because if they come in, how did they come into the story? But then how do they leave the story? Are they leaving in chapter 2? Are they staying until the end? Are they all the way through the story, but they leave, 3 chapters before the end? Like, how do we say goodbye to these characters? And so it was always really important of like, how do we leave some of these characters, or how do we leave seeing the character on the page, but their memory is still tracing through the story, and like you feel their presence. And so that was really important to know, like, which characters are you like, I don't need to see them again. Or like, you know, if we drop this person, it's kind of what happened? Like, you know, so I really wanted to give justice to not just the main characters, but all the tertiary, secondary and tertiary characters as well.
Exactly. And the main character is quite, if you'll pardon the pun, quite a character herself. In fact, there's a word for her that you used. Please let our viewers know what these female.
Lothario.
Yes. Okay. I had to look that up. I remember it way back when for regarding to males, but not to females. Clue our audience.
And you know, so yeah, a Lothario is a male that, you know, seduces women. You call him like a ladies' man. In today's world, you might say a slut, whatever. But that's you know, these are the words for it. But you know, they just have very, you know, inconsequential relations with women. And I read a lot of books like that as a child, and so that's why I know the word, because that's how a character was described in a book that I read. And I had to look it up. I'm like, oh, that's an interesting word. And I wanted the character centers all females. And I wanted the main character to sort of embody that, because if, you know, the main character is an artist, and if it's a male artist and they behave as Lothario, it's very like, they're an artist, it's fine, this is just how they do their thing. But traditionally, if it's a woman, that's not okay. And so I wanted to create a character where this is her life. She has slept with hundreds, maybe thousands of women at this point, and no one says anything because this is just who she is, and there's nothing wrong with it. But the problem is, there is no word for female Lothario. I've tried, I've looked it up several times. There is no word that describes a woman that has casual sex that is not derogatory. And so I created one, which is Viv, which is the main character.
Yes, indeed. And Vivian is quite a character. She's openly queer and world famous in the works that she does and it's kind of a performance art, and yet she is an artist in the true sense of that, as she creates the paintings as well. She does something that was most unusual. How did you come upon putting all of this together?
Yeah, so it's actually a tie to a lot of the way that I grew up. So you know, so when I was a kid, I learned about painting and traditional painting. My favorite painter is Dali, personally speaking. I just think Dali's mental, I've been to his museum, it's amazing. But I was really always into more abstract art. And so, you know, I really wanted to be maybe in first or second grade, I wrote, I want to be an abstract painter. And, you know, certain people say that doesn't make any money and they push you in different directions. So I didn't do that. But I've always loved art. I'm a big art head. I love it. And then, you know, when I was in maybe second to fifth grade, there was an after school program at this YMCA, and they had trapeze class. And so, you know, we took that every single day. I'm lying, probably 2 to 3 days a week. But I loved it. It was so much fun. And I just felt so free flying through the air. And again, I wanted to do that, but, you know, circus people also don't make any money. So that's not a career path that's encouraged. And then when I was in college, we took this sort of music appreciation course. And, you know, there was a painter, I can't remember his name, but there was someone that painted to music, and it was kind of more of a stipple sort of line type of painting, very like long, thin canvases. And I just thought that was so cool. And like, I would do that. Like if I decided to be a painter again, I would do that. And so all of those things together, sort of the abstract, the high flying to the music, created Viv of just this world that, truthfully, if I could have this career, I would do it today.
Well, again, I don't want to give away any of the plot, but it does keep you guessing as to what's going to happen and how these characters intertwine with each other. And I just love the fact that it's a woman's story, a bold, strong woman, and other bold, strong women to varying degrees in the book as well. So this is something that's great for our LGBTQ community. So you have hard copies and the paperbacks available, do you not?
Yes, correct. So
yes, let's take a look at those.
There
we go.
hard copy or soft copy. So you can buy them. You can buy them online. You can get them in ebook. If you buy them from my personal site, you can get them autographed as well, if you would like. But yes, they are out there and available for your consumption.
And your personal site, can we let our viewers know about that?
Yes, it's immersivelovebook.com.
Very good. Excellent. Okay, so now our viewers will know where they can pick up a book and perhaps get a signed copy as well. That's terrific. Yes. Well, you've done a wonderful job. How is it, I wanted to ask you in the beginning, though, how is it that you came about writing? I mean, you've done so many other things. Has writing always been something within you that you wanted to express?
Yes, yeah. Writing has always been there. It's always been sort of that thing that's always waiting for me when I'm out of options with life. You know, now as an adult, people talk to me a lot about, oh, you're a great communicator, you speak really well, things like that. And I am. I'm a good, you know, conversationalist. I can give a good speech. I can write a good essay. But as a child, I struggled so much expressing myself. I just couldn't. I still struggle. And thankfully, in the 3rd grade, I learned the wonderful gift of analogies. And it made me realize, like, okay, if I say what I'm feeling, other people don't get it. But if I say it in a way that they do understand, that relates to how I am feeling, they'll understand me. And that is what I do my entire life. I speak in analogies. I use examples that other people know. And that is why people think I'm a good communicator. But writing was always there. I grew up, I'm like a 75-year-old woman inside. I love, like, I dream of Ginny.
Hey,
and like,
I resemble that remark.
Hey, that means you had great TV. You know, like, I Love Lucy's my favorite show, you know, and so, you know, I wanted to be an actress and director. And so I was always really big into writing and the art of storytelling. And so, you know, the little known secret about me is that when I was 17, I had a book deal, and don't ask me why I didn't sign it, but I had written a story back then. And, you know, I grew up as somewhat of a know-it-all. And so you know, when that ended, you know, I moved into architecture and development and tech and things like that. And I just really didn't think I had another story to tell. You know, I just thought that part of me was dead. But apparently,
wow,
you're heartbroken randomly.
Obviously not.
And
obviously,
you're heartbroken.
Obviously
and,
not. You have this in you. Yes.
Yep. Yeah. A broken heart and some Lewis Capaldi apparently reignited my gift. So
I'm glad to see that,
and to my ex.
I'm glad to see that spark was relit, because we're going to, not only in this book, but perhaps we'll look forward to something more down the road.
Perhaps.
What do you think?
There's some stories brewing. So
excellent.
We'll see.
Excellent.
Stay tuned.
Excellent. Oh, yes. Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining Outlook Video and sharing this wonderful book, where our viewers can now also pick up a copy for themselves. And congratulations on this. It's a wonderful book, and I know that everyone's going to enjoy reading. And we'll look forward to maybe some more down the road. Who knows? Who knows?
But keep on following. But I appreciate you.
All
I appreciate you
right.
always being supportive and having me back. Thank you so much.
You bet. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Avenidas! Thank you.
Fantastically. It's a gorgeous day, and it's great to be here, and I'm glad you guys are here. I'm glad the show is doing so well.
Well, great. So how do you think the parade's going to go?
I think it's going to be the best parade ever.
DeFrank float. It's really colorful. How's it going up there?
It's great. We're having a lot.
Hey, this looks like fun. So condoms are in fashion?
I'll say, look, don't use that. It's got a hole in it.
We certainly won't.
Okay.
Looks like fun. You got a lot of condoms all over you?
Well, they're not used yet.
Not yet. Okay.
They will be.
What's it all about?
High-Tech Games is about, high-tech professionals. We're an organization of social and political significance.
Great, and I understand you can come out of the closet here.
Absolutely. Today we have the low-tech closet door. If you want to come out of the closet, you get a sticker and a lot of chairs. It's right over there. Paul, why don't you do it yourself?
Sure, okay, no problem. What are you all about?
Well, High-Tech Gays is a social political organization based here in the South Bay, about 500 members of gays and lesbians in the high-tech industry.
Sounds like fun, and we can come out of the closet today?
You can come out of the closet today and any day, on the job and out in the world, and come on out. It's great. The weather's fine.
Fantastic.
Should
I go through the closet for the...
We'd love to get mail from you. Email us at comments@outlookvideo.org.
To contact us by phone, call 408-293-3040, extension 205.
Visit our website at outlookvideo.org.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/outlookvideo.
And connect with us at facebook.com/outlookvideo.
And now, the news.
Our news tonight is dominated by the recent legal decisions concerning gay rights, or rather, the lack thereof. The biggest decision was made by the Supreme Court, which upheld the Defense Department's position that homosexuality is inconsistent with military service and is grounds for discharge. The decision came when the court refused to hear two appeals, one by a gay man and one by a lesbian, both of whom were discharged for their gayness. There were no charges of improper conduct in either case, nor was there any evidence of homosexual acts had occurred. However, both defendants acknowledged their gayness. The only bright spot in these cases is that the court stated that they would be more open to reviewing military's anti-gay policies in future cases.
Locally, high-tech gays suffered a setback in their lawsuit against DISCO. DISCO is the Defense Investigative Security Clearance Office. DISCO is the government agency which grants security clearances to people who work in the defense industry. HTG, a South Bay organization with many members who work for defense companies, first brought the suit in 1984 when its members were being denied security clearances. A ruling 2 years ago by a lower court supported the rights of gays to obtain these clearances. But last month, a Ninth Circuit Court panel of judges dashed these hopes, stating that gays are not a special minority class. HTG's attorney Dick Gayer says this effectively ends the suit, and they will not appeal to the Supreme Court because they don't think the Supreme Court would hear it. The Billy DeFrank Lesbian and Gay Community Center in San Jose is the focal point for many of the South Bay's gay organizations. In the past couple of years, the center has been located at 1040 Park Avenue in San Jose, but the increasing number of groups using the DeFrank Center has sparked a search for more suitable headquarters. A fundraising campaign is underway, and Paul Monroe interviewed the center's director, Ginny Hagopian, to check on its progress.
So Ginny, can you briefly tell us what the Billy DeFrank Center, what services it's able to provide for the South Bay lesbian and gay communities?
Well, from the beginning, the heart of the center has always been the switchboard, and we still have that. It's both a hotline and a referral. I think we took close to 5,000 calls last year, so we serve a lot of people through the phone. We also provide inexpensive meeting space for a variety of groups, everyone from bagel to paga to bangle. The letters are flying in the center with the different groups that meet. We also provide space for new nonprofit businesses, especially to begin. The one that we've been able to help out has been Sister Spirit. The Sister Spirit Collective is a separate nonprofit corporation that runs a bookstore in the center and has coffee houses with entertainment 3 times a month.
High Tech Gays is an organization of gay men and women working in the defense and computer companies. With over 600 members on its mailing list, it is one of the South Bay's preeminent gay organizations. The group is both a political and social organization, hosting a monthly potluck, speakers, and numerous outings. Jeff Barber spoke with some of HTG's members and founders.
Hi, this is Jeff Barber for Outlook, and tonight we have members from the High Tech Gays organization of San Jose. On my right, we have Pete Conroy, who's the Activities Committee member of longstanding, Don Nelson, who is the current secretary of the group, President Rick Rudy, Bob Correa, who is the newsletter chairman, and Denny Carroll, who is a past secretary. And we'll just be discussing the group a bit tonight. So you guys, you all three were founding members of the group. When did it actually get together, and when were the first elections? How did it formally get started?
Well, we met back in very early of 1983 at Denny's house. So there were just a dozen of us that met on a regular monthly basis. And after 3 or 4 or 5 months of meeting, we decided to formally make ourselves into a group and selected the name High Tech Gays. So we officially are sort of founded, I would say, April of 1983. So we're going on 7 years.
Mm-hmm. Monthly meetings have about how many people show up for those?
Well, we have an average of about 150. We've had as many as, I guess their maximum has been 260 people, one of the meetings. We have them at the Billy DeFrank Community Center each month.
Yes, it's been particularly nice to have a gay community center like the DeFrank Center. They had a very small building at one time, which we couldn't begin to have met in. And then they moved to the present location on Park Avenue, and we've always tried to be very supportive of the community center and holding meetings there, which brings our members into the building and into other activities there. Seemed like a very good opportunity for the whole community, and we've been quite pleased.
And yeah, and so the monthly meetings are large meetings, and about how many of these activities a month are there? Because they're smaller and draw maybe 20, 30 people, something like that?
Right, they vary. Generally, there's been something going on just about every week, whether it be a theater night or a dinner night or a camping trip or whitewater rafting trip, just a real variety.
We tend to try to have speakers who will focus on gay community issues, whether or not those people are themselves members of the community or not. We try to get from them information about our community.
And it's actually kind of become a very useful forum where candidates like to come and appear before the group, right?
We now have been requesting. Last year we had congressional candidates come and request to speak before our group, and later this year, in fact, at our May 13th meeting, we're going to have the 4 major candidates who are running for the San Jose City Council District 3, and they've all accepted to come to the meeting and speak their positions for us.
How can people contact the organization if they're interested in coming?
Well, we have a voicemail number, and that has a recorded announcement of our upcoming activities, plus it will take messages. People can leave messages there for just they're interested. Will you send me a newsletter?
And so you would send them a newsletter if they asked for one?
Put them on the mailing list.
Okay. For Outlook, this is Jeff Barber, having talked with members of High Tech Gays.
A lot's been happening over at the Billy DeFrank Community Center in San Jose. The center, which provides a variety of social services, is planning to move to a new and bigger location at 970 West Julian Street, also in San Jose. To help pay for the expense of this move, the center recently held a raffle which raised about $12,000. The winner received an all-expense-paid trip to the Gay Games in Vancouver this August. The center also celebrated its 9th anniversary last month. At the reception held to commemorate the event, the center unveiled its next major fundraiser, Buy a Piece of the Rainbow. In this fundraiser, people pledged to raise money to buy segments of the rainbow. Segments are valued at prices ranging from $50 to $1,000. Members of Slug, the South Bay Leather and Uniform Group, pledged to buy 3 segments worth a total of $2,500. Entertainment was provided by the Silicon Valley Gay Men's Chorus, and a good time was had by all. We wish the center good luck in its fundraising and move to its new location.